Good day, everybody. It is Sunday, August 16th. We have baseball already kicking off. We are going to get right to it because we have games that are happening here very quickly today. And to be honest, we're going to absolutely tell you that we give truthful analysis of where we're at. And where we're at was that yesterday I got my ass kicked. So it is what it is. I bragged that we were on a tear, outlasting a lot of professionals. I said my last bad day was Saturday a week ago, and apparently Saturday's got me because everything fell. My streak watch on WNBA took it to the chin. Had two bets on that, and both went south. Then just really overall, there wasn't much positive to say. I basically went 4-18. So we're going to be honest with you when we have 6 winning days. I'm going to probably get cocky again, and then you have a day like Saturday. And just looking at it overall, there were just a lot of I don't know. A lot of teams did not. And by the way, when I say this, I guess my only credit I'll give myself. I look at a lot of analysis, and I wasn't out of line with a lot of other analysis out there as well. So San Diego shitting the bed 6-1 against Cleveland was not in the books. So that put Tatis, Ty France to shit. Not good there. Again, had 2 WNBA props that both went south. So Aja Wilson, I had an under. She went over 29.5. She hit 33. And then our girl Jackie Young, I have to maybe go back and see what happened here because she had 8 and then 8 never changed. So something happened that game, I have to think. So I might have to go back and see what actually happened there. Tampa Bay loses again 4-3 to Baltimore. Junior Caminero does hit the HRR, but doesn't hit a home run. Yandy Diaz is the only player that I bet that I was 2 for 2 on. He got the HRR and the bases. Bryce Eldridge does get the HRR, so he was break even on the bases. The New York Yankees was the final play. And look, that probably is the only one I'll say shame on me. Because quite honestly, they're in absolute shambles offensively. So me making any plays on Yankees, which at least I was smart enough to say avoid that run line play that we showed as a positive expected value play. They're just in shambles right now. There's no other way around it. So overall, just a rough day. I'm going to be honest when I tell you I have 6 winning days in a row, and then I can tell you when I took it on the chin yesterday, it was even worse than Saturday a week ago. So I need to tighten up my Saturdays. That's the bottom line. So we have baseball starting almost as we speak. And so Code Edge, of course, 25% off your first subscription. Go to edgeboard.live. And that is where we want you to go and continue to grow this platform. And sorry for that. Let's get you onto the board. So I will tell you that there is a play right off the bat. And again, this game, you're probably not going to catch it, but I'll be honest with you, I did make some plays for this first game. And essentially, I do think that there is value in the run total. I do think that the run total has moved since we posted this. We did have this as one of our highest odds. I think there is some EV to get plus money on 7.5 here. I'm looking at the lineups, and I don't see a lot of people pulled out of lineups. And I do show some favorable matchups here in place. So just going over this first game, we do show, again, your usual suspects. Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero, righty versus lefty against Trevor Rogers. I'm not going to say Trevor Rogers is a bad player. I'm not going to go to these specifics because, again, this game is starting right now, so there's no point. Pete Alonso is a good fastball hitter. and they literally call this guy Fastball Freddie Peralta. I mean, this guy throws a fastball. Basically, this guy is a fastball changeup pitcher for the most part. He does have a third pitch, but it really comes down to where he's at with the fastball. Pete Alonso's gotten hot again. So Pete Alonso is a hot, cold batter. So if I were to pick anything out of this at all, even though it's righty, I do like Alonso against Freddie Peralta today. And then I like Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero. They've got Velotti batting cleanup, which is probably why I'm not betting this. I'm still not on board on Velotti as legit. I think Aranda might struggle a little bit lefty. And then again, I just don't trust the Baltimore lineup. So I don't know. It plus money at 7.5. I kind of like today. I mean, they only scored 7 runs yesterday. I think I'm going to just avoid it. So the bottom line is, what bets did I make this first game? I did put bases and a home run and an HRR on Pete Alonso. I'm pretty big on Pete Alonso. I didn't make any of these bets large plays. I do think that bases for Yandy Diaz is good, positive EV. I don't think his HR is. They got him back to massive minus on an HR. And then for Caminero, I think there is some expected value there for his home run and his HRR. They only have it like minus 128, 130. And if you ever give me that on Junior Caminero, which again, he hit that yesterday, I'm going to give it. And so that's where we're at. Those are some insta plays from the very first game. And I think we are going to just take today as a game by game basis, give you an idea of what's going on out there. I want to go that route, and I'm going to give you some of my notes. So the next game that I show on Major League Baseball is Boston at Pittsburgh. And what I will tell you about this Boston and Pittsburgh game is that there is definitely going to be rain coming. So I have made one bet, and the bet is under 8.5 runs. Now, our software doesn't necessarily support that. We think it's 50-50 at 8. The reason why I'm making this play, and I looked at some other plays, it's a weird game. It's going to be a Pittsburgh bullpen matchup versus Patrick Sandoval. And both these teams have kind of been very mixed bag on offense. Boston was way down. They've kind of come out of it a little bit. Pittsburgh is just up, down, up, down. There is one play that I will tell you that maybe I'm going to make with this one about to tip off that I want to show you. But the point of this game, and actually I'm not going to bet it, and I'll tell you why I'm not going to bet it, and I'll just give you my whole philosophy on this game. So I looked at Patrick Sandoval under of 15.5 outs. He has not done that very much at all. They are starting to stretch him out. But what I can tell you very confidently that I looked into, not very confidently because you can never say that with weather, but this game starts at 1:35 their time. And I think that the weather doesn't move in until his start would have been over anyway. But I would say around the 6th inning, there is some weather that is coming through, and it's pretty well-defined weather. And it goes up to like 75% chance of rain as we near the end of this game. So what I think is a scenario and why I'm betting it is I think that there's, first of all, could both these offenses suck regardless and score under 8.5 runs in a full game? Absolutely. Where my edge is coming into play is that I think there's a chance that in the 7th, 8th inning, you're going to have this major storm roll through and they're just going to call the game and it's done. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But that's why I bet the under. It was literally kind of a weather play and the fact I have offenses that in general just seem like they're having some issues. The next game to tip off here, I love that. I'm a big NBA guy. Starts at 12:35, also Central, Arizona against Atlanta. And here's the thing. This isn't a very odd game. This was one of these games, like, again, we talk about variance. Obviously, variance happens. I think that's a big thing of what happened yesterday. So talking about this game, I think that you've got Soroka and Elder. Soroka has been somewhat lights out. Elder has been a mixed bag. Um, I think the issue is I'm having a hard time wanting to bet anything. I looked at what was considered an elite matchup, for example, for that game, which we can just do a real quick dive on. And I just don't see anything really popping up. So what do you say when you got something like this? You've got weather that's somewhat elite, 95 degrees in Atlanta, and it is a righty versus lefty matchup. So when I try to say I want my Atlanta Braves, I like it, but I just don't know if Soroka's the right guy to go after. And I don't necessarily think Bryce Elder is. So it's kind of like you really just don't know. I mean, Elder has been a mixed bag. Arizona hasn't necessarily crushed offense. And so to me, I mean, that's our elite matchup that Elder could give up over 2.5 runs. So I think that the smart thing to do is just avoid this game, right? We just avoid the game. We have one elite matchup that pops up, and that's what we show it as. Yeah. There isn't rain expected this game, so I'll at least give it that. I will tell you that if I were to pick out one other thing, they literally have buried him not 8th out of 9th in the lineup, man. Atlanta is almost all but out on Austin Riley. So we do show some EV for Soroka to go deep in this game also as a favorable matchup. Again, I think that I just avoid. I do love me some Gabriel Marino as a favorable matchup. I was just kind of curious. I mean, we do show that Michael Harris, but he has been such a mixed bag, and it's a single. So, I mean, Harris looks like he might square this guy up pretty well. I wonder what the history is. 1 of 2 with a walk. You know, obviously we consider this a pretty elite pitcher, but he hits him well. So could Harris have a game? That's not a terrible play. You know, obviously Harris batting cleanup. So there's some plays out there. Look, there's definitely some plays out there. I was curious. What is Michael Harris batting in? Yeah, Harris is kind of getting warm again. There was one I just saw pop. Yeah. So if I were going to point out anything, it was going to go back to my well of the Austin Riley K's at a super high plus 189. But he has managed to figure out how to stop striking out again until yesterday. So yesterday he went back to his 2 strikeout fame. We know he's going to strike out once. So he's actually gotten hot here in August. He has a decent, again, 1 for 2. So we're going to avoid that also. I mean, he's at least back out of the funk. Good for him. So I'm going to avoid the game. I'll be honest. Now that I look at it, like if I were to pick out anything, man, see, I hate when I do this, when I break down this far, because sometimes then it does point out something, and I don't want to overbet. It is very hot there. Huh. Yeah, it looks like we have his EVs all nuked. Yeah, he hasn't gotten that hot yet. He struck out twice yesterday. We're going to avoid it. Glad I talked myself out of that. Let's move to the next game. So basically that game for me is just a big ol' avoid. We're going to move to the next game here, and let's talk about a team that I just talked about here a second ago. And one of the coldest offenses in baseball. And that is our New York Yankees. So this one also is slated to start here in an hour. And we're going to just hop into some elite matchups here. And there he is, right? There's your guy. So we have the Yankees versus Dylan Cease today. And we're going to do something else here today. I want to run, because we're going to go game by game, I'm going to run a version that's props, and then I want to run a version that's just simply team matchups, and we can kind of go back and forth and look at that. I want to also include that Ryan Weathers is pitching for the Yankees, and Ryan Weathers has actually been pretty serviceable. So what do we think here? We think that Toronto's going to win, but we don't really show great value. I don't necessarily know if I see value there. I was kind of curious. This line, I think, is super low. So I think Vegas already, oh my God, 6.5. Yeah, like we're not betting 6.5. I was going to say the under of 7 or 7.5 could very well be in play here. If Vegas has moved the line down to 6.5 or 7, I'd say it's an avoid. I might just look that up. I mean, we're basically saying that it's 6.5, it's 50-50, right? We just pointed it out. But if they're going to, pop us on this, and here's the crazy thing. Again, you talk about post All-Star break. The Yankees do not have a 75 score offense. So I think this game screams an under. I think Vegas, though, is already priced in this under. Looks like our Baltimore Tampa Bay game has already started. We already got a guy on base with 1 out. So that is probably means that we've already had Alonso up the bat because he's batting second. So he's either my first out or he got a single, which is helping towards total bases. And he was out. What did my guy do? Oh, God. What a start to the game. He is the guy on base. Hit by pitch. This is the shit we talk about, folks. That doesn't help us at all unless he scores a run now. Jesus, hit by pitch. Freddie Peralta beams him to start the game. What a start. Look, I'm not betting 10 strikeouts. I'm not going to bet 10 strikeouts. I think the Yankees are in shambles. I think that their K rate of Cease is elite. The chase rate is high, but they're only an average K rate. Now, what have the Yankees done the last... So again, deep dive here. Yankees strikeout. Last 5 games. I mean, they've literally nuked Kyle Cease. So I think that what you'd have to look at this as is at most, again, I never look at St. Louis strikeouts because they're great against strikeouts. Have they faced each other this year? So they faced in May. He struck him out 9 times. It's the only face this year. They have struck out he had I think I lost money on his last outing, because I kind of just discounted that St. Louis and Tampa Bay are great teams at not striking out. So the Yankees have struck out 8, 8, 10, 8, 9. And that's for an entire game. And Cease, what are you going to get at most out of Cease? So I think this prop's nuked. I'm not going to bet. I think 9 strikeouts. I just don't think the Yankees, who do suck, like, let's be clear, like right now they do suck. I was thinking that there was a possible prop of going under on runs. under on runs with a combo of his strikeouts. They literally have Ramos batting. This is how screwed up this lineup is. This is the goofiest lineup ever, too. Ben Rice leading off, followed by Luis Garcia, followed by Ramos, followed by Grisham batting cleanup today. Then Spencer Jones. That just shows you how in shambles the Yankees are, that the managers mixed up their lineup to try to get some action. And they've got this clown batting third. And this guy is batting 111 in his last 36 at bats. His career against Dylan Cease, in 16 at bats, he has struck out 7 times. I'm not going to ever bet 1.5 strikeouts at minus 121, but that just tells you how dog shit this guy is. I mean, is there money to be made on an under prop for this guy? Plus money, plus EV. I mean, this guy is dog shit. He looks like absolute shit. I think Dylan Cease owns him. Is that our play? There's our positive EV. I mean, hits, runs, RBIs means basically he could somehow get hit by pitch, and then Grisham gets lucky and hits a home run, so we lose the bet then. I'm never a fan of the 0.5 HRR because that's really asking for it. I'd rather just say, can you get a hit or not? Because it only counts if you get a hit here. People confuse that. If you're a beginning bettor out there, here's what I could tell you that could be the prop. I don't think they're going to pull Ramos. So crazy. Ramos to strike out once today. His prop to strike out once is minus 820. Jesus Christ. Minus 820 to strike out is crazy. Minus 115 is the best you can find for him to strike out twice. So you can't really use that bet. I mean, the HRR at minus 1.5, to say the under on that goes all the way up to minus 175. So you really can't play that. So I think it just comes down to the hit or the base. What's the best? Who's given the best under? Best under is 110 for the hit. And it looks like the same for Sportsline. So, or I'm sorry, I always call them Sportsline. Score.bet. We are going to slap 5 on this because it's just me making fun of this guy. That's literally my bet. Can this guy get a hit? He hasn't done it in 7 straight games. Can you get a hit against Dylan Cease and a good Toronto bullpen? Now, what I want to do, I want to kind of look at this seriously again, is go back to the over. Let's look at favorable matchups. And what I want to look at is hitter Ks. And I just want to see how many batters we think it's likely to strike out. So Caballero is batting last. We're not going to say he's going to strike out twice. Spencer Jones is favorable to strike out twice. And he's batting 5th. Luis Garcia batting 2nd, favorable to strike out twice. I'm curious if they have any history together. 5 at bats, he struck out twice. He's gotten 1 hit. Austin Wells is batting towards the bottom of the lineup. So, look, I mean, McMahon is batting 7th. This is why Dylan Cease props are so knocked out. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that there is a bet to be made here, and I think it's not 9.5. But I do think that this, this is where I think you look at a game, and this is where we try to look at a couple props here. So I want to look at runs, and we're going to bump this up to 7.5, minus 163, shoots up to 199 at that. So we're going to hit the minus 163, which shoots up to minus 175 is our best one again on the score, and 180 and 182 on FanDuel DK. So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. And now let's look at 7.5 strikeouts. And this is where I think it's pretty highly likely he's going to get 7.5 strikeouts. So it shoots all the way up to 229 on DK. The score is at 240. We're going to go DK minus 229 on 7.5 strikeouts. And then we're going to go back to DK. We're going to go to totals. We're going to go to 7.5. We're going to pop that at minus 182. And this is where you look at a story, and I took things that I think are probably going to happen now, and I'm getting even money. Literally, that was where I'm taking 2 minus pretty heavy bets that I think we're looking at what's going on here with this. We look at what Ryan Weathers has done. We look at the overall picture of this, and I think that that's a fair bet. Now, what's the last part of this? Do you say that the Toronto sweeps the Yankees and then you can use a boost? Do I literally go from yesterday giving myself a Yankees boost? Oh, Jesus, I talked too long. They just moved it to minus 105. I know I have a boost on this dog shit website, so it's not dog shit. They're fine. I'm being crabby. I'm crabby after yesterday. I don't like when I lose. And I want to give you guys, I want to have you have faith in what I'm providing as well. So Toronto is minus 118. Toronto minus 1, or let's do this. Let's look at it like this. Toronto to lose by a run. Minus 189. Again, this goes back to a storyline that I just don't think there's a lot of runs scored. So does Toronto lose? Could, yeah. Do they lose 3-2? 4-3? Well, then I cover this part of the parlay. It's not giving me enough. It's not giving me enough. I can't boost it. And I'm only going to do this if I can boost. So let's just go back to this. I can't boost it. All right, so I'm not going to pick a winner. I'm just going to take my minus 105 for talking too long. I'm not even making this a big bet. That was literally a quarter unit bet just because I was trying to give you guys examples of that. I do think his 8.5, when I see this many strikeouts, like, I think that that's fair. I'm going to lean that that's not a terrible bet. I think that it's not showing plus EV here. So if it's much worse than 109 at this point at 8.5, then absolutely fuck that. Yeah, it's moved up to minus 113. And we're only showing it 50.6% chance to happen. So again, Vegas has already priced this game in. And again, I don't feel like over betting on a day when we don't know what's going to happen. So basically, I literally just made a tiny play saying he gets 7.5 strikeouts. And this, it's funny enough, they're both 7.5. So 7.5 strikeouts and under 7.5 runs scored. And we move on. That's literally it. The next game is another rain game. This one, I think rain is just like literally in the forecast. So we got an over under 8, White Sox at Detroit. And I do have one play again that's weather based on this one. I just cleared out all my filters. Gosh darn it. This guy Anderson for Detroit. So I'm a little out of order here, but we're going to go down to it. Drew Anderson's been good. He's over 30. He's 32 years old, and he was recovering from a serious arm injury. So they've been very slow to ramp him up. This could be the game that he gets ramped up. What my take is on this one, and the line's probably moved since. This is the problem when I do some pregame analysis. I'm not interested in this game. I'm not interested in Sean Burke's because rain, again, is very much in the factor. So I'm not going to take any unders, but here's the interesting one that I kind of liked. Do we know, and I don't know why we're not even showing how many outs this guy gets now, but his outs line was 13.5. So basically he has to go 4.5 innings. And that's pretty low. So even for a guy who is just now kind of coming back, and he has not done this yet, his under on outs, it looks like they pulled it. I'm not even on the right guy. That's why. There he is. So under 13.5 outs is even money. 14.5 outs is minus 145. I mean, personally, I look at this as innings. And if you had a big swing for him to go 15.5, I'd be on this bet all day long. So if we look at outs, I guess we'll go to the over because I'm not sure. Oh, I know what it is. Again, it's because I got too much of this. So hopefully this pops up now. There we go. So at 14.5 outs, he pops up. We think it's 60% likely and plus EV. The thing is, and this is literally what this guy's done. So 11 outs, 12 outs. So they have yet to have him get out of the 4th inning. That's the bottom line. He is yet to play into the 4th inning. So that would make you think, let's do this. But this could be the game. He's kind of stretched out now, right? So if he goes into the 5th inning, he probably gets 15 outs. So that's that. But what also makes this interesting is we've got a third factor that I think this game could have a rain delay. And if you've got a pitcher who is dealing with that they're very sensitive with his arm, and this game gets delayed for rain in the first 5 innings for any reason at all, he's done. Guaranteed. So interesting play. I'd like you to consider that one. I thought about it more, and I kind of decided to go to the strikeouts because even if he pitches 5 innings, even if here's a game where he played Seattle that strikes out a ton and he pitched the 4 innings, didn't get a single strikeout, 2 strikeouts, and then he did hit 4 strikeouts versus Cleveland. I am going to tell you that if you're going to only pitch at most 5 innings, this could still not hit in 5 innings. I like both these plays, to be honest. So I think that the rain could limit this guy. I think that you have positive expected value on either play. I think that you're smart to just bet either 13.5 outs or why go to 14.5? Strikeouts at 4.5 is minus 111 on this site, which I guess is 122 on DraftKings is correct. So look, I'm not making huge plays here. I think this is an avoid game. I think that the rain part makes it interesting. I'm just going to put a little small play because I do show expected value of him to go under. I'm putting a third of a unit on him to go under the 4.5 strikeouts. I think that, and I'm just going to make sure before yeah, so it's minus 110 on the recorded outs for 13.5. He's definitely still in a pitch count. Drew Anderson announced pitch count today. He's limited to 75 to 80 pitches. Has already been announced. He threw a season high 70 pitches was his season high. Drew Anderson average pitches per inning. He averages roughly 16.8 to 17.5 innings pitches per inning. 17 times 4 innings. He'll be at 68 pitches through 4 innings. It's literally right there, right? Then comes the rain. So he's on a strict pitch count of 80. Could the White Sox rough him up 1 inning? Will it rain? $80 pitches. So 12 more pitches means he's getting 2 more outs. Man, it's right on there. It's right on there. I think because it's minus money, I'm going to pass at minus 110. If it was plus money at 13.5, I would do it. That's just something to keep your eye on for that game. Again, for me, it's largely a pass game because of it. All right, so we got us more rain. San Diego at Cleveland. The wind is either out to right field or it's more left to right. We've got 2 hittable pitchers. We've got us Casey Mize, who actually had, I'm going to take it back. He's been pretty strong of late. And then we've got Tanner Bybee, who had been rocked of late. And so wind is blowing out. Bybee is a right-hander. They're both right-handers. What I wanted to look at for this game, and I have yet to really do anything on this. Let's just go to our team matchups again. What do we think about this game as a total? San Diego and Cleveland. Again, rain is in the area, and it could make this one a bit of a mess. We are saying slightly over on 8. I showed the line at 8, so that stays in line with that. I think I'm looking at really just one play and one play only, and that is, I will bring up both teams though. There's the problem. Okay. I don't know if I'm so interested in Tatis on righty for righty with the wind going hard left to right in rainy conditions. He has hit a home run in a very small sample size against him. Bibee is hittable. I don't hate it. It's not who I was hoping to see. Joe Adell to strike out. Is that not hilarious? I mean, is he high enough in the order? Batting cleanup against Casey Mize at plus 263. Okay, this might be a play. I mean, Joe Adell, since going to Cleveland, has admittedly cleaned up his act. He's still batting 125. What the fuck am I saying? He hasn't struck out as much. I don't know what they've done with that. He's faced Casey Mize 9 at bats. He's batting 0. He has 2 Ks. Apparently, he hits the fastball pretty well, but we also are talking about a very elite pitcher. I mean, I just got burnt by San Diego yesterday, so I'm hesitant to tell you that go San Diego. We're not seeing a ton of guys pop up here on the board that says this is a must. We do, again, think that this is a smart play. Oh, shit. Look at these offenses. Again, look at this, though, with between Mize and the bullpen. I mean, they clearly dominate here. Maybe this is a play. I mean, San Diego is getting good price for this game. The weather's what's going to make this odd, but here's what I'd say about the weather. If the weather comes into play, you got a hell of a bullpen. You got a hell of a bullpen. Joe Adell to strike out twice, batting 4th today, righty on righty. Game gets rained out. He loses his last at bat. Game's starting soon. Latest weather forecast in Cleveland Indians. 1 p.m. thunderstorms, 2 p.m. thunderstorms, 3 p.m. thunderstorms. First pitch is 5:40 Eastern. So am I already out of the afternoon games? Is this even correct? They play at 1:40. This is why I hate fucking AI sometimes. Who even knows if this is the right game? Jesus Christ. I'm almost getting back to like I'm almost getting back to wanting to just stick with Google searches, because the Google AI is sometimes more it's more trustworthy than the Chat GPT. 54%, 62%, 64%. I mean, I'll be honest, we're probably wasting time doing props here. I'm not going to bet an over on strikeouts in games that could end early or be called out. I mean, plus 263, I think, is an amazing value here because I think Joe Adell sucks. That's my take. I don't think I want to do the Tatis play because the wind is too goofy. I was really kind of wanting to look at really only one player who's been so hot lately. And Jackson Merrill they have down in 5th. They got Cronenworth batting 2nd. Were probably the only 2 guys I was interested in. They have Sheets batting 7th. I guess I just want to look at what lefties are going to do what against this guy. Cronenworth has heated up. He started the season terribly. He's like all these Padres. He's batting better lately. Do I love him? No. Does he hit home runs? No. Do I want to bet him? No. Do I wonder why he's batting second and Jackson Merrill fifth? Yes. I don't know why we keep burying Jackson Merrill, who's been so hot. Makes no sense. So he has only seen Bybee twice and struck out twice. He's batting 340 in August. This guy is like a completely different hitter now. He's a completely different hitter. Could he hit a home run today? Do we think he has plus EV today? I'm going to go with only one bet. I'm going to go Jackson Merrill at 1.5 HR because when you're telling me that's only minus 111, he's done it 80% of the games. Yes, he had a rougher game yesterday, but that was also a pitcher that's very tough on lefty. I don't think I buy into that this game. I am going to take my minus 111 and I am going to put a half unit on that. I do think that if I were to bet the game, and I think I am going to go ahead and do this, I am going to bet San Diego because I'm getting basically even money. I'm putting only a quarter unit because I just want to see if my read is correct and when you're getting that value. So we're putting just a small play on the money line because I think there's value there. We're showing expected value for both of these bets, and we're going to move on. I mean, the Gavin Sheets one is again back to why I think I just like Padres as a whole. I think we were showing this as also a positive matchup. I just don't love the lineup. I don't understand 100% the lineup here. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was favored to strike out. Maybe that's what it was. But look at his career against Bybee. 2 for 2 with a home run. Sheesh. That's interesting. I mean, he's just not a hot batter. You look at this, like we're not talking about somebody on fire and he's buried in 7th in the lineup and there could be a rain delay and then they put a righty or a lefty in and then maybe they pull Sheets out. So I think this is an avoid play, but it just helps further support why I like the Padres as a whole here. I mean, especially with, again, how they've been hot. I don't know if Machado or France do very much today at all. So I'm not going to count on that. I'm not even going to look it up. This guy's a switch hitter. Not a fan of his, to be honest. Just curious. 545 against Tanner Bybee. Also batting better in August than he had. You know, am I banking on this dude? No. But that's kind of an interesting part of the lineup, just to be honest with you. Like when I look at this lineup, that's where it gets interesting to me. Is like 1 through 4. I don't necessarily know what 1 through 4 does. Tatis, Cronenworth, Machado, France. But then you go Merrill, Luis whatever his name is, and Sheets, lefty. That could give Bybee some trouble there. And I like that when you see a lineup 5 through 7, tell me I could cause as much noise as I did, 1 through 4. Then you go to Xander Bogaerts and Freddie Fermin, and you might as well just call it a day. I mean, those guys are dog shit. So interesting. I mean, look, we're going to go ahead and go. Oh, you know what? I am sorry. I am so sorry. This did support one last bet. We are going to make one last bet here. Absolutely, we are. I want to go one more. We're talking about him a lot here. Rain, go away. Maybe don't go away. What do we think about this? Plus money under 17.5 odds. Outs. 19, 17, 22. He's an innings eater. 5, 2, 4, 6 of 7 games, he does it. They keep this guy out there for innings no matter what. But this game is loaded with rain. And I'm getting plus money. So I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to take my plus money at plus 122 and say that rain is going to fuck this up somewhere. And I'm putting a small amount on it. It's just me again with my take of how this day could go. I'm also nudging my bet on San Diego up another nudge because I like it even more now. All right, you know what? I'm going to look up one last thing. This is going to be, we know that Tatis, we know who he is. We think Cronenworth matches up well against him. I want to look up what Ty France does. Machado, he's just, I don't know. I'm never counting on Machado. Like, I'm not looking at Machado to do anything. So mixed signals was better than I thought. And he's hit a home run against him. Okay. Yep. We're putting a little more on San Diego here. I mean, this guy, why do we have Machado batting fourth? Like, what is he actually doing? He didn't do shit again yesterday. He looked just like Machado, batting 211 this season against righties, but still sucking in August. The whole team's getting good. Who's being left on the sideline? Fucking Machado. He hits Bybee. All right, whatever. I mean, these are all small sample sizes, so I'm not banking on him. All righty. We move on. That is my take on that game. By the way, Casey Mize is also 16.5 outs, and they've really kind of limited Mize. That might also be a play for what it's worth. All right, we're going to go to the next game here. We're talking Miami and Cincinnati. And I do think that this one looks like the rain is going to move out of the stadium before it starts. So this is a post-rain game. Again, a lot of rain in the Midwest. I will tell you that I think Yuri Perez matches up pretty well against this team. I think that this is a correct read, that we show this at plus money at minus 118. I think there's a clear advantage of Yuri Perez over Nick Lodolo. I think that both offenses have their moments, and I think that the Cincinnati bullpen is actually worse than Miami's bullpen. And this is something I'll talk to my dev more about, because this is kind of becoming a consistent theme, and that is the whole All-Star break versus post-All-Star break. And I will say that if you look bullpen-wise, post-All-Star break, Cincinnati's bullpen has just looked like complete shambles. Miami's has looked good. We know that Cincinnati is a good ballpark for hitting. We know that it's going to be the type of showers they are that it's apparently going to remain warm, humid, and wind out to left field. Lodolo is a left-handed pitcher. I think that we should see what kind of bats might be out there today for our Miami Marlins right-handed batters. That's my take on this game. I think that there's going to be, I like Miami. I think the system is correct to say that we like Miami and that we like the over of the 8.5 runs. I highly doubt that we like Miami so much that we give them love for a money line. Yeah. So, I mean, we think that the game stays within range. You know, we only think that they can win by overrun by 46%, even though we also think that's positive EV. I would not disagree with that. So I think our system's take is very much in line with what my take was going to be, how it's reading this. Now, what is specifically, is there a specific individual we want to focus in this type of scenario? The first thing is, we know that Eugenio Suarez loves to strike out. He likes to also hit home runs, but to be honest, I think he likes to strike out more than he likes to hit home runs. Plus 128 is too low. So, like, this is a shame of it. Like, the best, you give me Joe Adell. If I would love if someone could remind me, and that game plays a full game, and if Joe Adell gets 4 or 5 at bats, him striking out twice to me is like, what a great bet for plus 238. What a great bet. Plus 128 just doesn't do it for me. I'm curious. They have to have had some history. So he's faced Yuri Perez 4 times. He's gotten 1 hit, but he's never struck out. So look, limited history. Is this guy going to strike out at plus money? That's interesting. What is Trevino batting? He's batting 7th. It's righty on righty. You're getting plus money. He struck out 9 out of 10 games. He's done nothing over 2 at bats. Could this guy have limited bats? Absolutely. I don't even know who this guy is. So he is the catcher today. So that's interesting. If he's the catcher, he's probably staying in the game. Let's just look up this guy. Just curious. This is a Sunday start, is what I'm thinking this is. Yeah, so this guy only plays every 4th day. He's the backup catcher. 2 at bats versus the White Sox, he struck out. 4 at bats versus the Nationals, 2 strikeouts. All right, we're betting this. We're insta-betting this. August 5th, last time he played, 3 at bats, struck out. August 1st, Pirates, 3 at bats, struck out. 3 at bats, struck out. 3 at bats, 2 strikeouts. 4 at bats, 1 strikeout. I mean, this guy has as many strikeouts in the games he's played as he does hits. Would have never bet this if it wasn't for the software. But if you're actually telling me I'm going to get plus money, and he's the starting catcher today on this is Sunday baseball. This is what you see on Sunday. I love it that we are a little late to get on today because lineups already announced. So these are things I probably wouldn't have caught. Like, we probably don't catch this. The software doesn't catch this if this isn't announced. But I think you're going to see this guy catch Lodolo for the day. I think you're going to get 4 at bats. This is, does he come out maybe the 3rd at bat? Maybe. I still like him for a strikeout. So where's this guy in the order? Yeah, batting 7th. Love this. Love this play. And we're going to go ahead and give this one a 3/4 unit play, even without the boost. At plus money, plus 109. What we don't see that has me a little concerned is our right-handed bats. I wanted to see some right-handed bats. I do like this play, by the way. They do like giving Yuri a lot of innings. I think he pitches 6 innings. I don't think Cincinnati is all that great of late. Now, let's see if they face each other. That does come into play sometimes. again, for this one, we don't think weather's a factor. So they did see each other in April. He only got 15 outs in his one. So he pitched 5 innings that game. We're saying he pitches 6 innings this game, which is kind of in line with what's happened of late. He's done after 6 innings. But that is a bit of a plus money play there. I think that what you want to look at is this is like that perfect example of, do you boost? Do you not? And also when I say that, do you parlay what you think is going to happen? So in this Yuri Perez situation, and there are some things there I'm liking. I just want to go to Yuri by himself. And I just want to look at, what do we think? We think he's going to pitch a lot today. We think he gets 6 innings in. So how many strikeouts does he get? At 5.5, it's pretty milked. 6.5, like what a difference a day makes. Holy shit. So, I mean, they've really nuked the line. I was thinking that I wanted to kind of tease those two together. I mean, what do we know about this? We know this is a favorable matchup. 9.9 per game. The K rate there is basically a K per game per batter. It's a whiff prone lineup. His K percent versus the Arsenals looks good. They've been big strikeout guys second half of the season. That's more me just knowing this. I doubt he did this the first time the only time they played. First of all, he only so here's what I look at, which kind of goes in line with this. He only pitched 5 innings that game and got 6 strikeouts. He pitches 6 innings this game. He's going to get 7 strikeouts. I definitely don't want to go over 7. I will say that I'm kind of nervous. I'm a little nervous to do what I might end up doing. FanDuel and DK are even on their props at 113 on strikeouts. And on outs, it's minus 125 on FanDuel. Caesars is slightly better at 122 now. I don't see a ton of value in parlaying this. I don't think that this is one where you have to do that. I'm going to use my FanDuel boost on him to go 6 innings. That gives me plus 104. That is showing us something that's more than likely to happen. Again, you got to remember there's so much variance here, folks. When I tell you this, do you notice what we're saying? A blue bet is over 50% to happen at better odds. So anytime I can combine over 50% to happen with plus money is a good bet. It's still almost a 50-50 bet, right? We're just trying to show where we have edges. I think because his strikeout prop was minus 113 at 6.5, like it was close enough that to me at that point, it's just, what's the point in us? What's the point in us going on a less than 50-50 bet, putting that as part of a parlay that could fuck up a parlay, quite honestly. So do I like the bet? I do. Do I want to boost that bet? I am going to pass. But am I going to make the bet? Yes, because I think it's likely to happen because it fits my storyline. So I am going to put just a third unit on the strikeouts. I put the max I could on a boost that I used on him to go 8 outs. And then we're going to look at the Miami line again. It's close enough odds. I don't really see the point in us boosting it. I think it's just another half unit play worth making. So there's my takes on that. And again, that game's tipping off. So I'm probably only going to release live material today, which I know I'm not getting as much of a following on this YouTube channel. We hope to make this grow. Use code EDGE. The point of that is, like, a lot of these games are going to be happening by the time I could release other content today. So a lot of very early games today are going to keep me tied up from content. I wanted to look at one last thing, though. We talked about favorable matchups and just almost curious looking at home run power this game for right-handed batters specifically. There is one guy that I kind of do like. They've got him batting second today. So Otto Lopez as a whole, I think, is a decent play here, just to make some noise. I want to look at, he has been a bit of a streak hitter. Hernandez is the only guy that we think is probably the home run play in this wind and weather. I like where we have him betting this game. I think there's a play for him. And then we're just going to go to all props. And I think it just confirms what I want to do today, which was really just look at two guys and where I think there's some possible value. And I just want to see how we think they square up against them. So Otto Lopez, I mean, I'm never going to be interested in 1.5, as you guys know. I think that's a little too milked, and he's not doing it enough. He has been colder. He doesn't have great history against Nick Lodolo, so that is now a pass. We're going to look up our guy Hernandez as a whole. I want to see what he's up to. We finally had some action in this game. What happened? So I joked to you that I said that I wasn't in love with Vlade batting cleanup, and our first action that game was Vlade, who's 2 for 2 for the game, just hit a home run. And this is just what pisses you the fuck out. Holy shit. They're just pitching around Pete Alonso. So my favorite at bat of the game, his first at bat, they hit him, and the second bat, they've walked him. So 2 at bats out of possible 4 at bats, he's been hit and walked. And then no one's doing anything around him. So that bet looks like it could be in jeopardy of a terrible at bat. And this is the bullshit of betting player props. Because a pitcher can absolutely seal your fate. That's what's happening. All right. Good start to the day. So what does Hernandez like to do? He likes to strike out. That's not so good. He hasn't been hitting well. Number 5 ballpark in all of baseball for home runs, 12 bark in for doubles, 87 degrees with 9-mile-per-hour wind, backing up anything this guy does that hits the ball well. I really am a little disappointed to see that they have his odds nuked this bad for an HRR, which is why I avoid the HR sometimes. It's just like the chance of a binary type action is, to me, you know, I just feel like that they've already nuked this environment in the ballpark and what's going to happen here today, which is extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. I'll tell you what, I'm getting on tilt just knowing that that they took my first elite bat of the day and hit him and then walked him. I am seeing plus 344 for a home run. We're going to go ahead and put a 5-banger on that. Literally just a quarter unit on the home run. Now the problem is so at least his total bases are plus money, because that had me really tweaked out. I mean, is he doing it a ton? Not really. Has he done it 2 of the last 3 games? Yes. Do I like this matchup? Yes. If he hits the ball, is it a double or a home run? Probably. He's batting second, so do I really want to count on anything else, especially with Lopez not, showing a ton of action? No. So we're just going to limit it to a home run bet with a little bit of a plus money total bases bet that hopefully means that you're not upset if he hits a double. You just get your money back, you clean each other out, and you move on. So that's it for that. We're going to move past that game. I will look at one last one I wrote down I wanted to take a peek at. Again, what we're banking on is that Lodolo is going to get hit and that he isn't going to have a lot of success. He has been a 5-inning or less pitcher for a lot of the last 8 games. He went over it one game that he went 6 against Baltimore. Well, again, Baltimore's getting shut out today. Like, Baltimore is what they are. Miami's offense, again, has gotten a little hot again. They're still in the playoff race. Cincinnati's kind of given up. I think that this is a fair bet. Now, if you look at the EV percentage now at this point, that's one that you say you really should have comboed that with something. And again, I don't want to combo something for no point, for no reason. I don't really like any of these other things that are going to happen against him to happen on unders. Do we think that there's a good chance he does something on the overs? I mean, if we go with the whole philosophy that he is going to get hit, I just don't see a whole lot here that just says, well, first of all, what we're seeing is we're not seeing any positive EV, right? We're not really seeing any positive EV. I think that this is a little bit unfortunate, but had I paired up Miami with anything to go with what was a scenario to happen, I think it would have been his under of 15.5 outs paired with Miami to win the game. The Cleveland or Cincinnati bullpen is terrible though right now. And so that also goes back to, like, do they give him extra innings? So I think that my advice to you guys is probably just to pass on this, or you could pair that with a if you would have went with the same thought process of Miami winning the game, that would be your pairing. That you look at those 2 events combined, and then you're taking that to a plus money play. Yeah. So we're in the 5th inning, and my first game analysis is Yandy is on base for 1 out of 1.5. Caminero has done nothing, and they've hit Alonso, and then they walked Alonso. So for our first game, which admittedly, I think I told you I did not do anything on that game of any consequential value. So we have that going for us. I want to move on to the next game here. We've got Washington facing the Mets. I think this is a clear mismatch on pitchers. I think that Christian Scott's been pretty damn serviceable and Jake Irvin's been pretty poor. We have wind out to left field at 13 miles an hour. It's almost a right to left wind. And I'm not a fan of New York's ballpark, and it's not a good matchup for right-hand batters. It's 24th for home runs, 22nd for doubles. I think that this game probably, for the most part, is going to be a pass. We'll look at what our what we think from a overall matchup. I think I would lean towards New York to win this game. But it's nuked to 158. Do I lean New York to blow Washington away? Not really. Not in that ballpark. Do I lean that we want to explode a bunch in offense? The system thinks we should. It's favorable weather. It's warm. The wind is blowing out. I think that this is an avoid game for me. So there's a little bit on that. The only thing I guess I wanted to look at, there was, and I bet him once, I've avoided him all year, and he burnt me, was Bo Bichette. And then the next day he hit a home run. Christian Scott to strike out the Washington Nationals is likely to happen. It's not good value at this point in the day. Our only real value out here is Carson Bench to do some damage. He is batting cleanup. He has been hot, but it is lefty on righty. So again, the wind isn't helping a lefty who's going to pull a ball whatsoever today. Could he get you an HR? Absolutely. Batting cleanup. Lindor's been very hot. He hits this guy very well. Do we have any EV to any of this? No. Well, I'm not going to go 2.5 bases, though. And I'm not going to go minus money under 50%. I don't dislike that. If this wasn't completely nuked, I would go with 1.5 HRR this game. I think this supports where, again, though, I think the Mets are our better play here. How this all works out, I'm not interested in minus 145. I think this is a good bet. Lindor just to get a single is a good bet. There's probably somebody with better odds on that. The games are catching up with my analysis. He's plus 105 on BetMGM. I think that is a plus EV play. He clearly hits this guy well. He's batting 271 in August. He's definitely heated up. He got 2 singles yesterday. I'm just putting a little nudge on this, nothing big at all. It's me just thinking that this is 50-50 at plus money. And I think it's maybe slightly better than that. I'm not going to bet Benj except maybe the HR if they haven't nuked it, as he is batting cleanup. Jared Young's been hot behind him. Well, there we go. Cleveland, San Diego, they're starting with a rain delay right off the bat. Yeah, this is going to be nuked. 145. I'm not interested in minus 145 on HRs. I'm just not. And the weather's not really favorable to him in this matchup. So that goes to Bichette. Now we got Bichette between the two guys we just looked up. So here's our one lone righty with power that everything's backing him up. What's he going to do with it? Hits the fastball well. Hittable pitcher. Not great success against Jake Irvin, but it's only six at bats. .313 in August with 2 home runs. The problem with him is how often does he actually barrel the ball? That's his problem. He likes to strike out, but look at against this Arsenal. This definitely supports why I like the Mets to win the game. I like it even more than when I had my take on it. He definitely likes to strike out. Has he struck out multiple times lately? Yeah, just did yesterday, so that's not so good. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to pass on this play. We're going to pass. I think the Mets win, and we're going to move on. Philadelphia at Minnesota. We've got an interesting one here. I was all in that Dean Creamer sucks, that you're going to cream the creamer. Then he went out and had an unbelievable match. I think Andrew Painter sucks. So Creamer has a great last outing. Painter, I think, sucks. It is hot with no wind. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong game. I knew that was wrong. High 70s, so not hot, but there's 10-mile-per-hour winds out to right center, and we have 2 righties batting against teams that have some good lefty power in the Philadelphia Phillies, not necessarily with the Twins. The Twins, you've got Clemens and Josh Bell, Trevor Larnach. The lineup does have Buxton back in it. I think that there is the possibility we're going to see some balls leave the ballpark. It is not a great home run ballpark, though. It's a good doubles ballpark. I think that what we do is, especially because Creamer is coming off this great outing, that I just want to see if anyone sticks out that is a lefty that just sticks out like, yeah, this guy really matches up well for the scenario. Does anything match out? No. Does anything at least hit favorable status? Bryson Stott's been interesting. He's like unbelievably hot right now. Oh, I'm in the wrong board, and that's going to confuse some of my props. So let's go back to team matchups on this one, because I am just curious what we think on this game. Phillies, 51.2%, 106. So we show this as the most evenly matched game, like literally they're right next to each other. So there's your even game. See how this kind of works? Like they're one notch up. This is your second most even game. All right. We're just going to look again. Bryson Stott has been very hot of late. Doesn't match up incredibly well. He matches up fairly well. So Creamer's considered a favorable matchup. Interesting against them. Creamer to get 2.5 earned runs is favorable. Interesting. One of the hotter hitters in baseball, Mr. Schwarber again, he's decided to learn how to hit again. Not great success. Against Creamer, 12 at-bats, he's hit 1 home run. Very hittable, Mr. Painter. Hits his fastball, hits the fastball well. If I recall, though, oh, it is that it's left-handed we like him. Is that the one play? This guy pissed me off, too, because I literally bet him to hit a home run, and then he hit the home run a couple games later. Brandon Marsh is kind of getting it back on track. He's kind of getting it back on track. Not a great sample size against him. They've got Marsh buried down to 6th in the lineup. Maybe it was Bone. I don't forget. But the Phillies as a whole are starting to hit the ball again. Josh Bell, I bet the home run this day, and then he hit the home run that day. Not great odds. Apparently BetMGM likes him to hit a home run. Brandon Marsh favorable to hit a home run, and he hit one yesterday. And gets good odds. I don't like that they got him buried down to 7th. So. Josh Bell batting 3rd with a decent lefty behind him, hitting behind Byron Buxton, Trevor Larnach. Way better batter from the left. I had it backwards. Will be batting left. Will not be removed from the lineup. We'll get a full dose of action. What's our latest here in our little Tampa Bay Orioles game? Orioles put together something. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Pete Alonso. All right. So at least I get my money back on Pete Alonso. Fucking, you could only walk him so many times, you dickheads. So he doesn't hit a home run, but I had 3 bets on him. He clears his bases. He must have hit a double. He hits a double. He scores a run. Pete Alonso has me making money on him. We're projected profit after game 1 just because of Pete Alonso. Now, can we get any action from my we need Diaz to get one more hit of any kind. He's going to come up the next inning. Camaro's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yikes. We are getting close to the end of Trevor Rogers, hopefully. And I think that helps a little bit. So I don't love the fact that San Diego and Cleveland's in a rain delay now, because part of what my take was that we would have limited Tanner Bybee because the rain was going to happen, right? So who knows? Like, if they're delaying the game now, based on what I'm seeing, this game could be delayed for 3 hours. And that's another cool feature. I think that's pretty neat. Now, what we need to change, and I'll tell my dev about it, is if you click on the game, it wants to take you to like props. And I think I would rather have it take you to like what I'm looking at on Major League Baseball, which, good news, I've still got that game up. We just got a little action on the bases for Diaz, so they can't pitch around Diaz. So maybe we make some noise that inning for Tampa Bay. But back to the stream. We were looking up Josh Bell props. We're looking to see what do we think Josh Bell does, but I've apparently completely confused the system by highlighting that game. So my bad. It's a cool new little feature. We're doing things every day here at Edgeboard.live to hook you up. I'm trying to see if we're getting some value at all on Josh Bell. And I am going to go ahead and bet a Josh Bell home run because I think this is a good matchup. I think this is good weather. And I think that a home run at plus 600 sounds like fun to me. I like where they have him in the lineup. I can't, if you were to ask me, like, what is the best spot to put him in the lineup? Batting third behind Byron Buxton and Clemens behind him, I love. Like, lineups mean a lot, and him batting third today makes this HRR just, to me, makes me feel safe. I can bet the long shot of the home run because I can feel a lot better that the HRR is going to come through today. That's my thought process. So we bet the HRR to basically protect the home run bet. Because again, folks, if you bet home run bets thinking that they're going to happen, then you don't understand baseball. We move on. So this is crazy yesterday. I have to admit that I am very disappointed that I was unaware that Joshua Baez was making his major league debut. So now we've got another, okay, only one rain delay so far. The other games have started. Okay. For the Cardinals and the Cubbies today, we got Edward Cabrera, who I feel is not so good, against Hunter Dobbins, who I feel is not so good. I am showing 80-degree temperatures with wind 10 plus miles an hour to right center, which is perfect if you've got the power left-hand batters against right-handed pitchers who could possibly give up some traffic. I think Hunter Dobbins has been serviceable. This is going to be a sold-out ballpark. It had a ton of energy in it yesterday. I had no effing clue Joshua Baez was making his debut. And again, I am a Cardinal homer and I know the team well. And I was furious after spring break with this Baez kid hitting home run double, and our hottest hitter in all of spring training when the team decided, no, we want to go with Gorman and we're going to get Nootbaar back so he doesn't fit our outfield. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So this is bringing back flashbacks because A, I don't understand why we didn't have this kid in our lineup day one. I actually think this could be our next Pujols. Okay, so this is a just completely off topic from props conversation. He is a massive addition to the Cardinal lineup. This is not just bullshit. This is a real deal. This kid, this was not something just out of the ordinary. He's going to add traffic. It's going to change the outlook of the Cardinals into two guys you could not pitch around in Burleson and Walker. Like you had that action there to now this lineup, to me, is just unbelievably different when you now have Baez batting fifth behind Jordan Walker. That's how big of an impact I think this is. This was not a flash in the pan. Is the guy going to hit 3 home runs? Of course not. But you just saw even the one out he got was it was a hilarious out. He like ducked his knees down to hit a changeup that was almost in the dirt and still made he had hard barrel contact on all 4 hits. Even that hit was a hard barrel line drive. This kid is going to barrel the fuck out of the ball. All right. Now, granted, this is homer talk, but it's not homer talk. Like if you've watched me, I bet against the Cardinals a ton. This first 5 lineup, Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson, Walker, Baez, is now actually a formidable lineup. And that's interesting to me. For the first time, I'm like, okay, that's a starting 5. Now, what do we have on the other side? Pete Crow, Armstrong, Suzuki, Bregman, kind of interesting. They're sitting Bush today. So it goes Armstrong, Suzuki, Bregman, Happ, Horner. And I'm looking at this lineup and I'm just curious. Like, I think that if we're looking at this game, right, I'm going to tell you right now, like, this might be the first time that I'm letting homerism come into play. Yesterday, a guy had, everyone lost money yesterday. I got my ass kicked. And one of the guys' stone cold lock of the days was Cubs minus 160. Today, the Cubs are minus 174. So you're going to give me plus whatever for the Cardinals today? What? 43% chance to win, but plus 162, 5% EV. That's how much of a factor this dude is. I mean, we're going to look at this game further. We're definitely going to look at this game further. I mean, totals. This is probably the play that sticks out to me right off the bat. I squared this earlier and I haven't bet it yet today. And I hate to say it, the line has moved like 15 points since I saw it. It was minus like 110. And I literally, this is my only square and star I had as I was going through his line. It's like, how do we not think there's not a ton of runs scored in wind out Chicago today? And one of the few places the weather's passed. So it is cooler today. The front is passed, but it's still the Midwest. There's still some humidity in the air. So give me 8.5 runs as an over as one of my insta plays of today. Okay. Insta play. The whole, what could hurt us? Well, Chicago, of course, second highest run scoring team in all of Major League Baseball. The Cardinals minus 25%. You're forgetting something here, people. His name is Josh Baez. I mean, I don't see enough out of Edward Cabrera to tell me that this is going to be a different scenario. So let's hop into the game a little further. Let's see what supports it. Now, by the way, I'm telling you all this. There is someone right off the bat. There's two guys right off the bat we got to talk about. There's literally two guys right off the bat we got to talk about. And that is Alec Burleson, lefty versus righty, loves to pull balls over that wall, hit a home run yesterday, and Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, we literally have to instantly look at what is going to happen with these two guys. So let's just see what shows up here. So the first thing is the system says only one thing is very likely to happen as an elite matchup, and that is Jimmy Crooks to strikeout. Odds got reset. I don't know what happened here. My bad. Let's get weird ass minus 324 odds out of our lives immediately. Something reset here. So that's a little disappointing. Josh Baez to hit a home run. He's 1 for 1. I mean, look, this was the other day I had the kid and he's cooled off crazy since for Detroit. I can't think of his name. And I said, hey, this kid's the real deal for Detroit. And I still think he's the real deal. He's just come down to earth. I'm sure he's in the lineup today. Max Clark. Interesting enough, they've moved Max Clark down to 8th in the lineup. I think he has actually gotten pretty cold of late. You know, here's what we need to look at. Look at the starters: FIP, WHIP, Green, right? I don't know how we think that our guy has a 28% barrel percentage. I mean, I don't know. How could it be, right? Cabrera likes to throw a four-seamer and a slider, but apparently we don't have his pitch matchup fully allocated here. We don't even show how he hits against his type of pitching. So look, he's brand new, so that's what's confusing the system. If we're still going to give Josh Baez plus 430 to hit home run today, I mean, sign me up, just because I want to have fun. I want to cheer for this guy. That is righty on righty, and the wind isn't helping him today. So let's be clear, like, that's just, he's popping up. That's all I wanted to show there. I mean, we're really not interested in that. What we're interested in is Alec Burleson. So Alec Burleson, how does he face against this guy when he's hot? 324 against righties. Against, okay, so Cabrera likes to throw a lot of changeups. 321 against the changeup. 275 against the sinker. It's the lefty righty. It's a hittable pitcher. It's good weather conditions. He's hit a home run against him in the past. He's batting 286. He's gotten an RBI. Lock me in. Lock me in right now. Lock me in. I'm going to be betting me some Alec Burleson. Fucking absolutely I am. Am I going to bet Jordan Walker righty on righty? I mean, this again goes back to, like, guys, like, my dog of the day. Here's my dog of the day. Woof fucking woof. He hits them pretty well. Okay. His pitch types. Now he's 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. So now that just kind of shut that down. But I'm excited to know, like, again, Jordan Walker can hit righties. The wind isn't favorable. Am I betting Jordan Walker today? No. But he's still Jordan Walker, right? He's still going to cause a little bit of, you know, you're not throwing meat to Jordan Walker today. Interesting that I don't see, and this kind of goes back to why I love the Cardinals as a dog of a day. What favorable bat do we have for the Cubs today? None. None. The favorable matchup is that Pete Crow Armstrong's going to strike out. Pete Crow is in a massive slump, according to this site. Am I going to say that? No. He's 0 for 2 against Hunter Dobbins with 2 strikeouts. Hunter Dobbins has actually been a feasible guy. The Cubs look like they're sitting a couple guys today. I don't know if sitting Bush against Dobbins is necessarily bad. Do we really think, though? I mean, it seems it's a little odd to me. Like, it seems like we're a little heavy on the righties today. I'm curious what Ian Happ has done against him. Mixed signals to strike out. Mixed signals here. Doesn't hit what... Yeah, all right. So look, today's... Maybe I'm just... Again, I try to have data support. This, when I say this, like, I admit there's a little emotion here, but I think this game is completely mispriced. I think this game is completely mispriced. And this is using some data to back up what I wanted to tell you here. So there's been more action in this game. I wonder if Alonso did anything. No. Tampa Bay is going to get swept at home by Baltimore. That's when you know, and if you notice, I did not bet that, and I also avoided. I leaned towards the over, but I was so confused. So if I was going to bet that game, it was going to be the over. But I am very confused what's going on in the world of Tampa Bay right now. And they got Caminero leading off the next inning, which is terrible. I hate when he's leading off. So interesting. Losing 5-1. Pittsburgh's put up a couple runs in their game. I think I ended up avoiding that game altogether, if you recall. Or maybe I had their pitcher to come out early. I'll have to look at that prop. That supports that. That's the other thing about these unders on pitchers. Did I end up betting it? I didn't have the balls to bet the under on the Boston pitcher for weather. So looks like that could be trending that direction, since apparently they've made it a little difficult on him. By the way, this is kind of funny. Elliot Ramos shut me up. He started the game out with a double, apparently. So much for that under. And Dylan Cease is behind on his strikeout count. He's only got 1 strikeout so far. So that's what's kind of fun when you're watching this. You're watching some of your action. I'm going to get done down here and do my real job and watch what we all bet. And that's part of what makes betting fun. You can follow what you did. You can analyze what you did. What we're going to do here is we're literally only going to bet a couple things. We're going to go Burleson. Burleson, we are all in on Burleson today. So unfortunately, it looks like home run props for him have been somewhat nuked since I first were looking at this. So this is unfortunate. He's now below 400. He's at plus 375. We're going to slap that in for a little something. And this is the problem. I wait to do these bets because I like to talk to you guys about it. Total bases, he's getting plus money. Absolutely. Sign me up. Plus 115 on Fanatics. Sign me up. HRR, I think he's getting value there. Let's see, minus 130. I still had a boost left. We're going to pop that to even money, and it's capped at $10. Sign me up. If his RBI is over 150, I'm going to be interested. If not, probably not. Plus 160 on this site. Oh my gosh, right at 150. We're going to put us a little nudgy on that too. Just a little nudgy. Just a little nudgy. I think this game is completely mispriced on some of these factors, and I think that matchup there with this extra noise around him batting third, I just can't love it enough. And then Cardinals let's just look at this. Cardinals are even getting, no, so it's minus 124 with a run. So here's the problem with the Cardinals. I got to be honest with you guys. There was a big negative. I got to tell you about this. The negative is, Jesus Christ, they're getting shellacked. The over would have come into play. The over has hit, which I did like. But the last fucking thing I was going to tell you was bet the over, because Baltimore is going to shellac the fuck out of Tampa Bay 7-1. This is what makes this very difficult to predict, period. You're getting minus 124 if they keep it within a run. What makes me nervous about that is Chicago gets the last at bat, Cardinals don't. Cardinals have a really shitty relief. Our relievers are not good. They did perform okay yesterday. They did just pitch yesterday. I think that they could pitch again today. That's the part that probably does scare me. Like, if you were to go back to this whole, what do we think about the Cardinal game? Oh, the 8.5 runs. Yeah, what am I thinking? The line's moved to 9. Of course it has. Sorry. 8.5 is minus 122. We're going to go 8.5. We're going to go 8.5. Now comes, and I didn't want to parlay this together. I really didn't want to parlay this together. Now it comes down to, do I want the Cardinals at minus 124 and I get a run, or do I take the plus 171? It's such a swing. I honestly think this Baez has energized the team, and what's the point in betting minus 124? Like, that's such a crazy swing at that point. Now, what could absolutely happen here? What could make this a terrible bet? Well, what could make it a terrible bet is the bullpen gives up and Chicago scores a run to take the lead to win the game at the end. And for me to tell you that that's not a possible play here is, oh Lord. That's very likely. like it's the highest scoring team in our second highest scoring team in baseball. So love the over this game. Chicago with wind out. It is, you know, do I need to say anything more? Do I think that they've completely, like, is St. Louis going to win the game? I don't know. But if it's plus 171 that I just got versus minus 124 to lose by a run, I'd rather just have fun and see. And this is where, like, sometimes you bet because you want to have fun. So I'm going to cheer my Cardinals today. I'm going to cheer this kid, right? We're going to cheer this Baez kid. Now, do we actually want to bet Baez today? I don't know. I don't know. Like, what kind of bets, what kind of stuff are we going to give him? I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? The wind is blowing right to left, but the kid hit 2 opposite field home runs to right field, and they're giving us plus 500. All right, fine. Let's have some fun today. Let's cheer this kid on. Let's keep it going, buddy. Again, like, I think this game, like, this is not a homer. This is not homerism. I probably bet against the Cardinals way more for it. There's a guy I watch, one of the guys that does this stuff, that he literally bets the Washington Nationals, and it's so homer. It's like, it makes you like, bro, what is wrong? HRR plus 120 for 1.5 HR for a kid who just hit 3 home runs. For 1.5 HR. Like, against a guy who's a hittable pitcher. What are we actually doing here today? Like, what am I missing on this? They apparently didn't watch this kid in spring break like I did. Spring break. Spring ball, preseason. So what do we do when Pete Alonso comes up with even a runner on base? They fucking walked him again. You fucking cocksuckers. So Pete Alonso, luckily, still covers my props, is 1 for 1 today. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. I mean, I got to tell you, some of these stats here today are really unbelievable. Plus 165 for Baez to get 2 bases. I mean, I have to admit, this is now over betting a kid who's played 1 major league game. It's way overplaying it. But it also just doesn't make sense, some of this. Am I missing some of this? I mean, those are the 2 bets I made so far, right? Those are the only 2 bets I've made. So I have to admit, like, it's actually plus 165. At this point, the system's like, okay, maybe cool it. But then the other crazy thing is, which is so funny, everything's 1 for 1. Everything's 1 for 1. How many RBIs did this kid have his first game? 5 RBIs. We want to give you plus 170 for an RBI. 12 bases. It's so goofy. I know this is silly, but it's just kind of fun to look at. I mean, plus 170 and plus 165 for 2 bases and 170 for a single RBI. I just feel like these are still numbers. They don't know who this kid is. I know who this kid is. It's plus 210 on BetMGM for a single RBI. Plus, we're getting 210 to bet Caminero to hit a home run. I can bet this kid to get 1 RBI at plus 210. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All righty. What I can tell you is it's not a good right. It's righty on righty with win right to left. So to be honest, it isn't a great matchup today. We're not going to bet the bases at this point because we've overbet them. We did bet the HRR. We bet the RBI because that's just too stupid. We bet the home run. What I can say for sure is this is the one thing I'll tell you for a fact. By the end of the year, you're never going to get these odds on Joshua Baez again. That's what I'm going to leave it at. You know, a month from now, you'll be lucky for an RBI to get plus 140, 150 is my take on that, not plus 210. So I do think this is value because the books have not adjusted to who this kid is yet. That's what we're going to leave that at. And we're going to move on from that game. So the next game is Colorado at San Francisco. It's cold, but it is a day game. There's a slight wind out. I don't have a ton of interest in this game. Eldridge did cover his money last game, but he did not deliver on the home run. I went 0 for 4 on home runs, to be absolutely clear. The Giants have one of their guys, I think, this Tidwell is kind of new, but he has shown some pretty good action. They've got a decent bullpen. You get Colorado out of their ballpark. They show who they really are. Gabriel Hughes is 0-4, 5.61 ERA. You're going to see his whip and FIP. I mean, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time in this game. San Francisco is not a fun ballpark. And even though it's a day game today, it's like in the 60s. Like, is there an actual elite matchup? I highly doubt it. Is there a favorable matchup? It's guys to strike out, and it's Tidwell to get strikeouts. Now, what I probably didn't plan on betting that game was Tidwell to strike people out. His innings are going up. This is another guy who was like very limited on innings. So what you're seeing here, you have to understand, was based on the fact that they weren't giving him a ton of action. I think we just avoid it because even his K per 9, their K rate, we just avoid it. There's not a single favorable matchup. I'm not even going to try to beg to look up guys that are going to tell me to go out of my way to bet him. I mean, okay, sure. I'm a fucking idiot. So I will say there is a couple things here. I guess we'll just take one very brief look at, because I will tell you there's another guy that has me interested. Wow, this is crazy. Baltimore just taking it to Tampa Bay. Unfavorable. What do we consider? So we're actually considering Gabriel Hughes. All right. Well, look, let's just move on. I mean, I wanted to look at one other thing. Jung Ho, I think, is back to like hitting crazy again, maybe. This was a guy that was like printing money earlier this year when it came to him getting on base. We're certainly not betting him for power, but I am just curious on his singles again, where he's at. Okay, we're not going to bet 2 singles. 53.5 at minus. Yeah, no, we're not interested. Okay, we move on. Move on. Stupid. I shouldn't even look those up. All right, so this one's interesting. 10 runs, over, under, Texas at the A's. Texas at the A's. 10-1 Baltimore. So should have bet the over, but I would have never told you it was because Baltimore's going to win 10-1. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever. Ever, ever? Never, ever. I think if we're going back to the old team matchups, that the team matchups agreed with me that you look at, it is hot. There is no wind. It is a day game. That if you hit a fly ball, you could hit one over the park. So there's that. It is a lefty starting for Texas, so they don't even have Tyler Soderstrom playing today. Henry Bolte has been hot, is about it. Jacob Lopez has pitched well. They're both lefties. So really, I think you only have one thing and one thing only to look at. I think you could look at Jake Berger. You could possibly look at Henry Bolte. Or you could look at that this is actually going to be a lower scoring game and that we've got this wrong. And the under of 9.5, and again, this is a line that's moved. It was at 10, is moving because the experts are saying it's moving. And I think that it's just that. It's just an interesting, like, I mean, I really, Corey Bradford, the issue with him, Cody Bradford, was he was hurt. He came back, he's pitched 2 outings, and he's looked great. He's looked great in his 2 outings. I don't necessarily think that there's much to say here. Like, I think that he's a better pitcher than Jacob Lopez. It doesn't even rank him as a starter. So I think our software doesn't know how to really match this one up. So it maybe at the end of the day, you avoid it. I think that at the, if we wanted to look at Bradford, we don't know how much Bradford's going to play. I think he's certainly going to be limited in what he does today. We're talking 2 appearances. I mean, okay, so they already had him play. So he just went 21 innings. What the fuck? All right. I didn't know that. August 11th, his last outing, went 21 innings. And his last outing, since he went back in, he did give up 3 runs after 7 full innings, though. Now, interesting is he went 7 full innings and struck out 1 at bat. So he's not pitching for strikeouts. This is a pitch to contact guy in a ballpark that you barely touched a ball and they hit a home run. Bolte has been relatively hot, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. They got him nuked. They consider this, of course, that he's a good pitcher, but they show he matches up well against it. 283 in August. Overall, he's a good for average hitter. Had a good game yesterday. I think we pass. I think this is a pass game. I don't think I can get a good enough read on this game, is the end of the story. I don't think I'm getting a good enough read on this game. I think, is there any Texas bats that can hit a fly ball for a home run? Lefty, really? Nemo's hitting lefties 341, faces him all right, has hit 333 against him in a small sample size. Is that our play? It's not what I wanted it to be, the play. I think I wanted it to be Berger batting cleanup. Or Langford. But yeah, none of these guys, like, I think that this is also a pretty good pitcher in Lopez. Like, even though he plays in that park a lot, he's kept it like from being just a disaster. Just hit a home run yesterday. Went 3 for 4 yesterday. Has never gotten a hit off of Lopez. I'm not going to go off of one good solid game, even though that could be what takes him over the hump. I mean, I think Texas wins this game, and it's not as high scoring as we think. I'm not really all that interested in going out of my way. I just hate when it's hot in a day game in the stadium that I'm not betting any offense. Like, how am I not? How am I not betting offense in this scenario? How am I not betting offense in this game? Is it Jake Berger? Is it Jake Berger to do, like, is it our 3-4 hitters that we want to at least give a chance? Or, I mean, that one thing about Texas is it's definitely like some teams, I'll tell you that they face better for righties. Some teams face better versus lefties. Texas definitely is. They've got their bats are definitely righty bats. Like they square up better for a righty versus a lefty. They're just like batting 211. You know what? Let me just look at something here. Just a quick one that gives me a better view of this. Wyatt Langford 256, Duran 268, Nemo 269, Berger batting 234, Foscue batting 250. Then it goes down to Freeman batting 211, Elliot Diaz today batting 232, Austin Wins 148, Evan Carter 194. Other side of the lineup, 264, 278, 269, 222, 255, 208, 208, 230. So how do you hit home runs in the heat in a AAA ballpark if you can't hit the ball against two decent pitchers? I think the under, I really love the under at the original play. Caminero, 2 strikeouts. Big letdown today. Big letdown today. They are still have Trevor Rogers in the game in the 6th inning, owning them. But they do have first and third. I look at that and I look at our favorable matchups, and I think that the thing that's frustrating is the only guy that I think actually does make sense is confirmed in Nemo. He's batting for the best average on the team. He's batting cleanup. I'm definitely not interested in 2.5. I mean, he had only hit this in one of his last 4. Then he was on a bit of a hot streak. He has hit him fairly well for average. Who's on base, though, when he gets up is the problem. And he's only hitting 2 home runs, but he's going to get a decent home run. He's going to get decent odds because we're probably off If it's 370, I bet it's higher. He hit a double yesterday in the ballpark. I think that the offense as a whole sucks. So if I don't see some really spiky odds on a Nemo home run, then I think we just pass altogether. So there is 475 on BetMGM that is somewhat spiked out, which is kind of interesting. Do I have anything to support that this guy is a home run or bust? They're not even giving a guy who's not getting bases that often 2-0-0-0-2-2-4. So it is a terrible bullpen also. So, I mean, he's not leaving the game. He hit a double yesterday. I don't think I want to bank on him counting on other people to do things for him. So him on the HRR does not interest me on a milked HRR. I think that we could look at him to get the bases and that he's going to hit a double or he's going to hit a home run. If he gets a hit, I think is in the cards. So we're going to bet the bases and the home run for him. And I'm going to actually look at the under, though, as a whole for this game, because I just don't see enough offense. It just doesn't make sense with what I'm seeing, especially since I know now that Bradford could go deep into this game. That just changed everything when I saw that. I do like Texas and the under now that I see he's going deep in the game. But then it's like, man, what is that Texas offense even going to do? I think that Jacob Lopez is pretty good. I don't hate on that kid. What are we saying his... I mean, we are saying he's hittable. All right. So, Nemo... is in play. He is getting plus 120. So that makes me feel a lot better that he's getting plus money 120 for the 1.5 bases also. So that does change my take on that. And after I've did an analysis of kind of going down the line on this and seeing where we're at for matchups, we are going to go Texas money line. And we're going to combine that with this under. And we're going to nudge the under from 9.5 to under 10.5. And that gives me plus 180 for that as a combo package. And I'm doing that as a combo package for a half unit. And we move on. We're going to move to our final couple games of the day. We got our friends at Kansas City at LA. It's 84.8 miles per hour, and it does start during the day. Noah Cameron has been a very big mixed bag. He looked great of late. Ryan Johnson has absolutely been getting lit up. And I think that the problem you have here are two somewhat inept offenses. I think that we need to, again, look at what do we think is a run line this game. And we do think over 8 is some value because of these pitchers. I'm not so sure. I think that Ryan Johnson could be hittable. I don't know what version of Noah Cameron we're going to get. Again, lineups have been announced pretty much across the board, except for tonight's late game, which is I hate to say it, out of these last 3 games, another game we have to talk about, which is disappointing that I even have to talk about it. Ryan Johnson has been hit up. He's a right-handed pitcher. So I think it just goes back to, like, I don't, if Noah Cameron was playing better and I said he was a righty, I think he shuts down this Angels lineup that is not a good. But lefty versus righties, I think we're going to play the avoid game today on that. I really think I have one person only that I want to look at. So that one person is Mr. Caglione again, who has been hitting relatively well. And we're just going to take us a gander at this game. See what shows up. So we do think that Mike Trout to do some damage, who has gotten better again of late. He's still only batting .265 in August after he has gotten hot of just most recent late. He's batting 0 with 2 walks against Cameron. He does square up against his cutter pretty well. That could be a play. Noah Cameron to go deep against this team could be a play. I agree with that. The Angels to strike out a ton because they suck could always be a play. Noah Cameron to get 6.5 strikeouts could be a play. If he was a righty, I'd be much more apt to want to do it. Mike Trout, the system likes. Bobby Witt, the system likes. Who is not showing up? Jesus Christ. Okay. Bobby Witt, 342 since his return. Interesting. Bobby Witt, interesting. Ryan Johnson, unbelievably hittable. Bobby Witt batting second. Caglione right behind him. Caglione does not show up. What's the problem with Mr. Caglione? What do we got? What's the problem here, sir? Why did you not pop up? .281 against righties, but can't hit a sinker. Does this guy throw a good sinker? I don't think so. This guy throws a sinker over 25% of the time, and he's batting .212. Terrible slugging percentage, high K rate. Can't hit a sinker to save his life. So we're going to pass on Caglione. Now, does this guy throw a good sinker? Probably not. Does he hang a sinker and Caglione smokes it over the wall? That was going to be my bet, but I've talked myself out of it. I don't really know what to say on this one. I mean, let's go ahead and look at Trout. Again, it's a good ballpark for weather today. It is a day game, which changes how I feel about these California games. do find it interesting that he's at least heated up a little bit of late. I mean, the total bases for Mike Trout at plus money against, I would consider Noah Cameron again an average pitcher, but he has struggled against him of late. But I do think the weather's conducive. I think there's only one play here, and I think it's the same play for both him and possibly Witt. But for Trout, I think it's that they're giving him good money for a bomb today. Anytime you can get north of 400 on Trout to hit a home run is a day I'm interested. And I think that what we do is you just do a small play where you tease him for the home run, and then you back it up that he just gets on base, and he's showing that he can get back on base, and you're getting plus money on that. And so I think I like Kansas City this game. If I'm going to bet the game, I'm going to bet Kansas City. But I also think that it's not something that I'm going, wow, I got to play this, but we're literally just backing up small bases play to back up a small home run play so that I don't lose a bunch of money, but it has a chance that as long as he gets the bases, it evens out. He doesn't hit the home run. Now, Witt, I think that maybe I have to look at that one even a little different. I really don't bank on Witt hitting a home run. He is not, his launch angle really doesn't promote home runs. Not that he won't, right? I mean, he's probably hit as many home runs as, well, see, he hasn't. When you look at Witt, well, I mean, goddamn, the guy's, everything is just green across the board. They talk about launch angle, and I need to revisit what the launch angle is that I need to see. But we look at what this guy likes to throw, and Witt just loves all of it. He just loves all of it. And it's clear that he's done it against this type of guy. I mean, why would I ever want Witt at the same odds as Mike Trout for a home run, though? I'm a little hesitant. They have his HRR nuked. He's only even money for total bases. So they kind of have Witt, probably rightfully so, more nuked. They've really kind of hurt the EV you're going to get on almost any of this. I'm not interested in 1.5 HR. It's such bad odds. What's the most likely outcome, in my opinion, here, based on what he does? Like, you're telling me you're going to be 120 for him, minus 120 for him to hit a single versus minus 155 for an HRR. Well, then I'm probably going to go for the single. And I think that him getting a single is probably pretty likely. Do I want him at total bases? I mean, I wasn't going to concern him at all because while Bobby Witt's been all right, his name just kind of popped up as clearly a good matchup. And Ryan Johnson is clearly not a good pitcher. The other thing with Ryan Johnson, he's going to see very limited innings. They don't have this kid pitch very far into games. They have it at 14.5 at plus money. If it was 15.5, I'd bet that. But I just don't see a lot here I'm loving. I mean, what am I doing here? I'm betting a single, and then it turns out it's the day Bobby Witt hits a double. I don't necessarily know if there's anything to bet because I feel like they're kind of already really just nuking the shit at minus 168. Like, that's just crazy for a guy who's done it 4 out of 10 games. With a decent bullpen and not a great ballpark. It is a day game, though. It changes a lot with the day game there. I think I'm going to regretfully pass on Witt, and I'm going to pass on Witt just because I feel like those odds are too nuked. They've just nuked those odds too much, and we're just going to move on. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. Josh Bell has already come through for me, apparently, with the HRR to give me what I need. Dylan Cease has started striking folks out. They've only scored 1 run in 4 innings that game, so that one's coming through. Pittsburgh and Boston, I had under 8.5 because I was hoping it was going to rain, but apparently Pittsburgh wants to take it to Boston, and they're already up 4-0 with the bases loaded. So that one is in trouble. All of my Tampa Bay bets are in trouble. So far, I have lost 2 bets because they've already pulled Junior Caminero out of the game. So I've lost 3 bets, and Heliot Ramos got the double to start the game, which was absolutely hilarious to me. So knowing they've already pulled Caminero out to say just rest for the rest of this game is disappointing. And also, Miami is not doing what I'd like them to do against Cincinnati. Yuri Perez is doing what I'd like him to do. And the game after 3 innings is 0-0. He has only gotten 2 strikeouts, though, after 3, so that's not good. And Drew Henderson has 2 strikeouts, and it's in 3 innings. So that's kind of good. It all comes down to if they pull him out early like I thought. Jose Trevino has yet to strike out. So there is an update to the action of what I've played. We have moved on past this game. I am going to just tell you, because it's already been a very long stream, that we're going to simply skip this Milwaukee at LA Dodgers game because it's just 2 elite pitchers, and I can't figure these teams out, and the over-under 7, and it's just a void. So we do have one last problem. I would tell you, Pittsburgh's now up 6-0. So they're single-handedly, Pittsburgh is going to possibly, well, not possibly, looks like they're going to wall up the over-under. And now I'm very upset. And this is why I like those pitcher unders. I told you to go with the Boston starter under because of the weather. And there was a lot of times he may not hit the under in anyway. Well, there you go. He's going to be the under. Caminero out of the game in a 7th inning. Talk about rest day. That's the problem with Sundays. You get that. All right, we got to look at this last game because there's a boost for it, and I hate it. The Sunday night baseball game of the week is Seattle at Houston. What the fuck dog shit is that? Who pulled that out is a Sunday day of the game? I don't know the first thing to say this game, but all I know is that FanDuel has a boost that I got to use for it. And it's my last boost of the day. And Brian Wu was supposed to suck away, but then he faced the New York Yankees and all of his problems went away. And he shut the Yankees completely down. And that's probably more of an indication of Yankees offense. This game is at Houston. And so far, only elite thing we show, which Houston has a good pitcher on their side also in Hunter Brown, is that you've got guys who are going to strike out. Kyle Raleigh has, like it's been discussed, he has gone to absolute shit. And Julio Rodriguez has gone to shit. His career against Hunter Brown in 27 at-bats is he's hit him pretty well, but he's also struck out 8 times. He's striking out more, a lot these days, like strikeouts. Let's just look at them. So 0, 2, 2, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2. So crazy plus money for him to strike out twice. This lineup is not announced. It's the only game that's kind of the later game of the day. Our only elite matchup are 2 guys to strike out twice. Favorable matchups. This young kid to do something. I don't know the first thing about him. So here's where I don't know Seattle. So somebody could be a Seattle homer and be like, this guy's the coolest thing to come to baseball. You're crazy. And so far he's gotten 2 bases and 2 bases. Don't even know who Brock Rodden is. I don't know where we plan to bat him. They're saying he's batting last. Yeah, I'm just not interested. A Rosarina to strike out. Canzone to strike out. Cam Smith has been very hot. Josh Naylor to strike out. Hunter Brown to go deep in the game. Christian Walker to strike out. Yordan Alvarez to actually possibly do something. What do we think about this matchup? 348 versus righty. He hits Brian Woo's favorite pitches, 321, 351. He barrels the shit out of the ball. He loves his pitch mix. He is 2 for 2 against Brian Woo with a home run and an RBI. His home run is completely nuked. Minus money for total bases. He has been cold. To win the game. Houston, 53.8%. Does Brian Woo pitch great this time? We don't know. Totals. Under 8, 50% chance that it's probably a low-scoring game. It's basically the line looks like it's priced very well. It's our middle game that's left. Run line, if you give Seattle a run, is it great? Sure. Not interested. Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown strikeouts. Is that what we're missing here? Like, why didn't that pop up? %37% whiff rate. Bottom 10% offense. Faced them on in 2025, had 9 strikeouts. Has not faced them this year. 7 and 9 strikeouts, but that I never want to use a year ago. Recent, only struck out them 4. Struck out Toronto 8, 5, 7. A righty only striking out Texas 5 scares me a little bit. 50% chance to happen, negative EV on 5.5 strikeouts. I mean, I will tell you guys right now that Houston has let me down. I think that they have been cold, in my opinion, or just all over the place is maybe a better way to put it. I think that you're looking at, do you bet Yordan Alvarez to do something against Brian Woo at shitty odds, but you use your boost for that? That's your first choice. Your second choice is Seattle sucks. Do you look at Hunter Brown and what can he do against this team? You have a boost on FanDuel, so that's why we're focusing on this. I would have told you to avoid this game like the plague. So the last 5 games, Mariners have struck out 8, 10, 10, 8, and 9. And we think that Hunter Brown is going to go probably 6 innings against these guys. I like him to go 6 innings against these guys. I do. I like him to go 6 innings against these guys. Under, I mean, 1.5 earned runs is kind of crazy. He's given up 3, 3, and 2. I think this offense is inept, but I'm not going to bet under 1.5 earned runs. I would bet under 2.5. We actually lean towards him under 5.5 strikeouts. I'm going to disagree. We lean him towards under 17.5 outs. I'm going to disagree. I think this is all a favorable matchup to do. His K rate is a little low. It's saying that their K rate is low. I don't get that. The lineup arsenal is low, so it's not liking that this matches up. Favorable matchup, bottom 10%. Their patience is bottom. I definitely wouldn't put him over the Yordan Alvarez. I'm just not interested in these nuked, horrible EV stats against a pitcher who just looked amazing on the road. And the whole take was that he can't pitch on the road. And he just showed that he can. Against Yordan, who's been a little inconsistent of late, even if he hits this guy well. Even if he hits this guy well. I mean, you are getting a boost. If I were to point anything out, I mean, I would probably say use it on bases. You know, do you want to just instead say, screw it, Yordan hits a home run, and I want to use my FanDuel boost, and I'm going to boost the home run and just make it a small play for Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run. You know, of course, look at these articles we're pulling in. 4 best bets include Yordan Alvarez. I mean, he is a superstar, but he has not been as consistent as one would like, is all I'm saying. And with all that said, I have a hard time when we just talked about who's all going to strike out, right? Like, let's just go back to this last prop and why I think this is where it's at. Let's just look at batter Ks, strikeouts. Favorable matchup. Who is going to strike out this game? Right? The new superstar of Seattle has struck out twice. He's 2 for 2 for 2 strikeouts. The fuck? I didn't know that was also the case. So not only has this kid got it on base twice, he has struck out. He struck out 3 times yesterday. The fuck? Who's likely to strike out 3 times yesterday? 2 times yesterday, minimum. Look at all these Seattle guys favorable to strike out. How is this not a favorable matchup? Is this not the entire Seattle lineup? When they announced the lineup, I think this kid's in the lineup. Arosarena's in the lineup. I mean, again, they haven't announced the lineup, but it's Sunday Night Baseball. I don't think they're going to sit like their normal players. So, again, this is a projected lineup. Let's just look at it. This projected lineup doesn't have this Brock Roden in it. I'm going to say he's in it because I think this is a kid they've called up to play baseball. So I think this kid's in the lineup. Cal Raleigh batting 156. The fuck is going on, Cal Raleigh? I mean, what a disaster. I mean, he's on this list, right? Rodriguez batting third. He's on the list. Josh Naylor batting fourth. Boom. Randy Rosarina batting fifth. Boom. Cole Young. Boom. Canzone. Boom. Like, this is actually hilarious to me. Victor Robles. Boom. Now, maybe he doesn't bat because instead they're going to have the kid that strikes out 3 times. All right. Hunter Brown. 5.5 strikeouts. Minus 120 on FanDuel. 30% profit boost. Capped wager again at $10. Done. 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 Hunter Brown to go 18 innings. Minus 110. Done. That's my only play out of that game. We're done. We just did another 3-hour banger of a stream. I hope you had fun. I will hopefully tell you that we had much better results tomorrow. I am not going to post individual videos because what's the point? If you weren't following me live, umpteen of these games are now live. So, Dylan Cease is 1 strikeout away at the end of 5th to hit his numbers, and it's a 1-1 game. So that little parlay I cooked up looks great. Caminero looks terrible. Under 8.5 runs, Boston-Pittsburgh does not look good. Yandy Diaz to get me 1 more base does not look good. The Pete Alonso home run does not look good. We're really banking on the Cardinals to have some fun today. That's obviously going to be a big game. It's coming up very soon, so I'm going to do my other job. Under 12 or 15.5 Nick Lodolo outs looks terrible because Miami has not done anything. Heriberto Hernandez has not done anything. Francisco Lindor has not hit a single. Josh Bell has not hit a home run. So we have cleared the Josh Bell bat. We have cleared, we look like we're going to clear the Dylan Cease prop. We have cleared Alonso bases, Alonso HRR. So what we are showing right now is roughly a rough start, that we are down 1 to 2 units based on everything I've just told you, unless Miami turns it around. And then where we're going to be doing is banking a lot of our action on these games that obviously haven't started. So, again, rewinding, I told you where I stand on active bets. We have Hunter Brown on outs and strikeouts, Mike Trout on home runs and bases, Joshua Baez to hit a home run and get an HRR and an RBI, Alec Burleson home run and bases, Brandon and the Cardinals to win that game. Over 8.5 runs was one of my top plays of the day. St. Louis to win that game. So we're just, that game by itself, let's be clear, like that game and the Cardinals and Burleson and Baez alone will make a huge swing to this day. If those guys suck, I'm telling you tomorrow that I've lost money. Brandon Nimmo, home run and bases. Texas money line and under 10.5 runs as a plus 180 two-leg parlay for a half unit. San Diego money line has been fully delayed. Jackson Merrill for an HRR has been fully delayed. That game could be canceled at this point. It's hard to say. Folks, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Best of luck with what you're going to play out there. Hoping that we can build some more traffic to the live streams. I love talking through the props and telling you what we do here on Edgeboard, letting you see what's behind what we do on Edgeboard.